Many developed countries in the world look very tidy and pleasant, as the waste there never reaches the dumping yards and vanishes en route. There is no need of a magic wand. It is pretty simple. They adopt some sane means to convert the waste into manure, paper, plastic, and developed models to emulate. In Sweden, hardly 1% of the waste reaches the landfills. They segregate wet and dry waste right at homes and use as many as 12 bins to segregate dry waste alone. In a contrast, the waste at our place is quite less, but what reaches the dumping yards is huge. A mere one reason of not using the separate bins for wet and dry waste costs us dearly, and we are unable to recycle it effectively, which ironically means that our waste turns out to be an absolute waste. Let us now make an attempt how the waste can be segregated and processed appropriately. The waste at home can be segregated into wet and dry. Wet waste primarily includes peeled of vegetable matter in the kitchen, leftover food, etc. Dry waste, on the other hand, includes used covers, wrappers, paper, plastic, metal glass, aluminium material, etc. Remember, blue for dry and green for wet are the bins to be used at home. Unless the dry and wet waste is not given to Swachh Sevaks separately in the bins, it cannot be recycled. Wet waste can be as well converted into a fertile compost manure and can be applied for plants grown at home. Let's see now how the dry waste can be recycled in different ways. The dry waste collected at homes is carried to the DRCC centers by the Swachh Sevaks. Swachh workers segregate the waste as per their quality and standards and clean them. They are further packed in an appropriate way and sent to the concerned recycling centers. Paper is of three types: white paper, paperboard, and cardboard. Raw paper is usually made out of the tree pulp. We normally sell away the old books, notebooks, newspapers, etc. to the Raddiwala for some money per kg. A large amount of such paper reaches the pawn shops, kirana shops, and eateries. Consuming food on such papers with ink in it is in fact not at all good for health. To worsen the situation, the paper also loses the scope of recycling. It is not an exaggeration, but to run over recycling centers, we are actually spending valuable foreign exchange of more than $2 billion to procure about 50 lakh tons of waste from other countries, something serious to ponder over. ITC, an organization active in environmental conservation, is exploring ways and means for change. Besides planting trees, it also recycles different kinds of paper waste into varieties of paper. Needless to say that this saves the natural resources and paves way for protecting the environment. It also reaps economic benefits. Old books and papers collected from the Raddiwalas, homes and schools are first segregated and thoroughly cleaned. They are then unloaded at the paper recycling centers. The quality inspectors checks the material, and after which the paper waste is carried on a conveyor slowly to the grinder that gets transferred to the boilers to make the pulp, and along with different steps of processing. And look how they shape into paper and cardboards. Huge bundles are then sent to the packing section. This is shaped into useful forms such as newspapers, paperboards, cartons, sweet boxes, pizza boxes, packing papers, etc. Another important waste is plastic. Years after the use of plastic keeps increasing. Can we find a place without plastic? No. Plastic comes from the crude oil. Usage of plastics and crude oil endangers the earth and its environment. The situation is getting aggravated as the plastic accumulate at dumping yards without getting recycled. We pretty well know that the plastic waste has disastrous effects on the soil, water, different life forms and healthy living. But putting the plastic waste to reuse is extremely beneficial. It is not a rocket science and very simple. We have to just separate the plastic in a dry waste. Such plastic separated from waste is cleaned and processed into small granules to be used for recycling. Different attractive and useful plastic utilities are made by molding the same. Look how clean will be the environment if plastics are recycled, while also providing economic benefits and earning opportunities. We can clearly understand the significance of segregating paper, plastic and metals as dry waste and fostering the recycling of them into different forms, as well as generating employment opportunities by visiting the place called Bolakpur in Hyderabad. Several families here eke out their livelihood by shaping the dry waste suitable for recycling.
My name is Mohammad Bunawar Chand. I am a resident of the Bolakpur and a social worker. Plastic is a very important item in our daily lives. Since morning to evening, we are directly, indirectly in touch with the plastic. After using plastic, when it is a waste, it's become waste item, we will throw it in our dustbins, and that will go to the shisha dabba shops. From there, from our Bolakpur, more than 500 auto trolleys go for collecting that waste material from shisha dabba dukkan. They will bring to the Bolakpur. After bringing, they will sell it out to the various different types of plastic on different shops. After that, number of laborers, number of widows, number of old age people, and nobody will segregate it in a different category. After that, they will send it to the company, and from that company again the reproduct will be start. So from that we are generating revenue for the government, and we are protecting our environment and giving employment opportunity to the number of laborers in this Bolakpur.
Similarly, we can use iron, aluminium, wood and glass for effective recycling. But by mixing it with wet waste and destroying it, we are causing serious harm to the environment. ITC, a reputed organization, has initiated the program WOW, Well-Being Out of Waste. As part of its social responsibility, it made concerted efforts to engage with the government and active participation of the community, and implemented successful programs in the last 10 years. The efforts have received a good response and emulation of models by many, including some municipalities. It also strengthens the process of achieving Swachh Bharat objectives and move towards Mahatma's dream of a fair and egalitarian society.
ITC as a company has always supported sustainability, and for this reason, for the last so many years, ITC has become a carbon positive, solid waste positive and water positive company. As a part of the sustainability effort, ITC is doing many things, growing more trees, doing source segregation. We are supporting the program of well-being out of waste. When we say well-being out of waste, it means well-being for all the citizens of this country. We want a cleaner country, a safer country, and a country where people can breathe fresh air and live happily. As a response to Prime Minister Modi's call on Swachh Bharat campaign, ITC is very happy to join forces with the government to make the country a better place to live in. My request, my suggestion to all of you children is, please take up this program sincerely. We will teach you, we will train you, we will come to your schools, because what you are going to do will make this country a better place, a livable place to live for all of us. So it is our duty and our responsibility to segregate them, reuse them, recycle them.
Reuse of waste will obviate the need of dumping yards and fosters a secure future for the generations to come. One small but a worthy effort will do away with the dumping yards, improve the health standards, enhance the employment opportunities, and result in economic development. Cities will be tidy and attract several foreign tourists. ITC, as part of WOW, Well-being Out of Waste, envisages to take up programs in several cities in the country. In collaboration with GHMC, ITC is promoting the segregation of wet and dry waste in all stages. Efforts are being made to train and motivate the Swachh Sevaks and Swachh Doots to enable segregation of waste and gradually close the dumping yards. Swachh clubs will be promoted with school children to result in Swachh schools. ITC is working towards achieving a target of collecting at least 35,000 tons of waste that can be recycled.
I'd like to compliment ITC and GHMC on coming out with the 3R mantra: reduce, reuse and recycle. More specifically, ITC and GHMC together have started a massive campaign of segregation of waste and creating well-being out of waste. I'm truly delighted with this initiative, and I do hope that with large number of school children participating, we'll not only be able to segregate waste, but we'll also be able to save our environment. We'll also be able to ensure that the future generations and the future of our country and our city tomorrow will also benefit in a big way out of this. My compliments to ITC, my compliments to GHMC. GHMC in fact has distributed more than 45 lakh bins to segregate dry and wet waste. Now, unless we inculcate this habit from early childhood, and unless you talk to your peers, unless you talk to your colleagues, unless you talk to your friends, and also push them, guide them, and coax them into also starting with segregation of waste, we will not be able to overcome this huge challenge. Because as you all know, we have limited space on earth and we can't afford to have landfills all over our town and our country and our world. So my appeal to all of you to start working with your friends, to start working with your civic authorities, to start working with agencies like ITC, to start segregating waste, to save our environment and working on creating well-being out of waste.
As future citizens of India, there is an onus on you to actively participate in this purposeful program and motivate your families and the neighborhood towards realizing the goal. Let's learn the R3 mantra and adopt it.
Reduce, reuse and recycle.